she accidentally robbed a bank with her kid's science project. Welcome back to Sandy's Timeline, and today we're diving into the 2025 thriller Straw, a film packed with raw emotion and one of the biggest plot twists of all time. The movie opens with a quiet moment. A woman carrying her child in her arms through a hospital hallway before a blaring alarm jerks her awake. That woman is Janiyah Wilkinson, a single mother living in a worn-down apartment with her chronically ill daughter, Arya. One morning, Arya expresses frustration over being unable to bathe herself. Janiyah gently reminds her that she can't risk her falling due to her seizure condition. Then Arya tells Janiyah that her teacher told her she couldn't afford lunch. Hurt and overwhelmed, Janiyah masks her emotions and refocuses on the day ahead, determined to make it to work. As Janiyah leaves for the day, she hands a few coins to her wheelchair-bound neighbor, an act of kindness that doesn't go unnoticed. Her landlord, watching from nearby, snaps at her. He threatens eviction, accusing her of having enough to spare for the homeless man, but never enough to pay her rent. Janiyah, tired but composed, promises the rent will be paid by 10 a.m. sharp. After dropping Arya off at school, she rushes to her job at the local grocery store. It's the first week of the month, meaning the aisles are packed, the lines are long, and customers are more impatient than ever. As Janiyah tries to keep up, one particularly rude throws a bottle at her after she refuses to accept a Dubwick card for ineligible items. Her unsympathetic boss makes her clean up. While in the back, her friend comes to the back and hands some money to her, but her not making enough, she declines it since they are supposed to receive their checks today. Janiyah gets a call from Arya's school and she begs her boss for permission, but her boss demands she return in 30 minutes and refuses to release her paycheck. Janiyah rushes to the bank to get lunch money for Arya, but the line is long, so she just ends up driving to school without the money. At school, she is confronted by the principal and Child Protective Services, who take Arya into custody despite her pleas. She expresses that Arya injured herself in the bathtub due to her seizures, and they can't take her away since she needs her. As Janiyah drives back to work through the pouring rain, her mind spirals. Her daughter just taken, her job on the line. Distracted and overwhelmed, she accidentally cuts off a police cruiser. The officer behind the wheel, a smug, aggressive man, swerves, rolls down his window, and throws his drink across her windshield. Before she can react, he speeds up and runs her off the road, her tires screeching as her car spins out and stalls at the side of the street. She frantically tries to restart it. Nothing. Moments later, a second officer, a woman, pulls up. She barely speaks before writing Janiyah a ticket for expired registration and calmly calls for the car to be impounded. As her life unravels even more, the male officer returns, still fuming. He leans into her window and coldly growls, "Next time I see you, I'll find a legal reason to blow your brains out." She returns to work and is fired. Her boss again refuses to give her paycheck, but instead tells her to wait it in the mail. At home, she finds her belongings on the street in the pouring rain, and she tries to save a few items, including her daughter's science project, which is a bomb, and her daughter's medication. Janiyah goes back to the store to confront her boss. Then suddenly, two armed robbers burst in and threaten her boss to get out all the money, and they demand them to put the money in Arya's backpack, but Janiyah refuses, struggling for the bag. She grabs a gun and shoots one of the robbers. Her boss accuses her of staging the robbery, but she explains the robber knew her name from her name tag. Panicking, she fatally shoots her boss and flees with her paycheck. With her life unraveling by the hour, Janiyah crosses the street to the local bank, hoping to finally cash her paycheck. But as she approaches, the doors are already locking for the day. She pleads through the glass. The bank manager, Nicole, instructs the security guard to let her in. Inside, drenched and exhausted, Janiyah makes her way to the teller, only to be told her check can't be cashed without a valid ID. Desperate and cornered, Janiyah pulls out a handgun. The teller freezes. Shaking, Janiyah demands her money. The teller complies, sliding the cash across the counter. But the silent alarm has already been triggered. In the back office, Nicole receives a call from police. Keeping her voice calm, she tells them they've been robbed and the suspect has what looks like a bomb. Outside, detectives Raymond and Grimes, already investigating the grocery store incident, are notified. Within minutes, squad cars and SWAT units swarm the building. Raymond, a former Army negotiator, speaks to Janiyah over the phone. They start building a rapport. Meanwhile, a bank teller secretly live streams the standoff, drawing public sympathy. Supporters gather outside. After Janiyah hangs up, police jam the stream. Janiyah identifies the police officer she encountered earlier and tells the police she will only come out if they get the officer off the scene. Then suddenly, the science project starts to beep loudly, and everyone's scared, assuming it's a bomb. Try to keep her calm so she doesn't do anything in a harsh. Nicole and Jania disable the bank's cameras. A teller, Tessa, writes a message on a bathroom window revealing that the bomb in Arya's backpack is just a science project. Raymond confronts the officer who terrorized Jania. Then she calls Jania to inform her, but she demands the FBI let her confirm his identity by sending her a picture in her phone by turning the phone signal back on, but they refuse. Frustrated, Nicole heads straight to the bank and shows her a picture, and Jania identifies him and releases the hostages. But Nicole stays because he wants to at least to give her a chance of survival. Jania then receives a phone call from her mother, who reminds her that Arya died the previous night during the seizure. A flashback reveals Arya's presence throughout the day was a hallucination. The school call and CPS visit never happened. Nicole, aware of Arya's death, stayed to protect Jania. As the FBI prepares to storm the bank, tear gas is launched and Jania is seemingly shot. But this too is a hallucination. In reality, she peacefully surrenders to Detective Raymond, with Nicole by her side. Grief doesn't always come in tears. Sometimes it shows up in denial, in dreams, in the desperate hope that the person you lost might still be there. Jania wasn't trying to escape justice. She was trying to hold on to her daughter, even after she was gone. And in the end, Straw isn't just a story about a crime. For more recaps, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sandy's Timeline. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.